We are going to study the county of Trans Nzoia. It is called Trans Nzoia because when you cross River Nzoia, it means beyond River Nzoia. Just like we have Transmara, which means beyond River Mara, and in South Africa, we have Transvaal, beyond River Vaal. As I've said before, the engineer who made the bridge along River Nzoia was called Hoy's, and so the place was called Hoy's Bridge, and later it was named Moy's Bridge. The original residents of the county were 3 tribes. If you draw an imaginary line from Moy's Bridge through the town, to the east of the town, all the way to Kapenguria, to the east of that imaginary line, there used to stay people called Cherenganyi. Cherenganyi. Now, the town Kapenguria has a place called Aramakit, just below the main county hospital, is Aramakit. A Cherenganyi elder or chief who was called Arap Makit. Arap Makit used to stay there, and the Wazungu could not pronounce Arap Makit, so they called the place Aramaket. So from Kapenguria to Moy's Bridge, an imaginary line, to the east of that imaginary line were the Cherenganyi. Then to the west of that imaginary line were the Pokots. Makutano Trading Center in Kapenguria was a Pokot land. All the way to all that is Kitale town, and most of what today is called Trans Nzoia used to belong to the Pokots. Very much to the west, starting from Endebess area all the way to the mountain, used to belong to the Sabaot. Sabaot or the Sebei. That is how Trans Nzoia initially used to stay. When the Europeans came and stayed in Trans Nzoia, they planted cabbages, and Pokots would leave their animals to eat the cabbages. And the colonists were so mad at the Pokots. And Pokots were shocked because the Wazungus were annoyed when their cattle used to eat this round, funny-looking grass. So in 1920, the Pokots were chased away out of Kitale northward. That is why in Pokot language, the year 1920 is called Konyikwenda. Konyikwenda, if you translate it to Swahili, is wakati tuliambiwa kwenda, or the time when we were expelled, chased away. So that is when Pokots were pushed northward, just like the Maasais were pushed off north, north of the rail, and taken south. So Pokots were chased in 1920 under the operation Konyikwenda. Now, the first people to settle in Kitale settled at a place called Center Kwanza. Center Kwanza. It is now we have a constituency called Kwanza constituency. So the first people to settle there we started settling at Center Kwanza even before Kitale town came up. Then people came. The British went to between Webuye and Bungoma. There is a place called Ekitali. Ekitali. They took Bukusus from Ekitali. This is the approximate area where we have Nzoia Sugar Factory. So they went to Ekitali, took out people there and settled with them in Kitale town. So, just like New York town grew out of Yorktown in England, so did Kitale town grow out of Ekitali. You know, Bukusus everywhere is called Ewebuye. In Nairobi, Kisumu, that is Kisumu. So Kitale, the original Kitale is where Nzoia Sugar Factory is approximately are, and Bukusu still call it Ekitali. Mzee Henry Pius Masinde Muliro was a son of the Kolongolo age group. He was a son of Kolongolo age group. So they went and settled at a place called Kolongolo. Among the Bukusu tribe, there is an age group called Kolongolo. So those people whose fathers were of the Kolongolo age group went and started Kolongolo. We had Kipsigis who went and stayed and settled at a place north of Kitale town near Center Kwanza. They came from, there is a place in Kipsigis called Keringet. So if you are somewhere there, you'll find a place called Keringet. And next to Keringet, we have two farms. We have Luhia Farm and we have Keio Farm. Why do we have those three farms? You will remember the sad story of Eldoret, where people were burned in Kiamba Church. Kiamba Church, the area belonged to Kikuyus who originally came from Kiamba in Kiambu. So you'll find that in Trans Nzoia, a place called Keringet, these were Kipsigis who came from Keringet area. I don't know whether it is in Bomet or it's still in Kericho. Luhyas came and bought that farm and called it Luhya Farm. And people from Elgeyo Marakwet came and bought land at a place, and then they called it Keio Farm. I don't think Marakwet participated in the buying, so they just called it Keio Farm. Lastly, I want to tell you about a place that is at the border between West Pokot and Trans Nzoia. It is as a walking distance. I used to walk from Kolongolo to Kanyarkwat. Kanyarkwat is a place where there were so many, somebody had a cattle bomber. And the cattle bomber had the bullshit, the cow waste. And so that place was slippery, where if you stepped it, you'd kanyarkwat, you'd teleza na kuanguka, slip and fall. So that act of stepping in a slippery place, you kanyarkwat. So that is a place called Kanyarkwat. Welcome to Trans Nzoia. Let me tell you one thing, especially you Kenyans. You don't have to go to Mombasa for... Okay, you be going to the beaches, but Kenya is a wonderful place. Local tourism should not just be between the coast beach and Masai Mara, Amboseli and Tsavo. you can always go to other places like Kitale Yefwe. I know Bukusus will not be happy with KHWATENGE for saying that Kitale is a Pokot land and yet Kitale Yefwe. Ebechanga Yefwas. Hey, by the way, Pokots. Kalkunenya na boy. Boishio. Karam nyoman. Lendenenya boy. I've just spoken 2 languages. Fluent Bukusu and fluent Pokot.